Hi and welcome to another live match. And this one is the Angling Trust Winter League final round back at Heronbrook. And I've drawn Island Pool Peg 8. This is the day after the Tunnel Barn teams of 4-1, which was froze over, and this one's froze over as well. So there's only 5 of us on the lake, so there's loads of room. And all of us have had to break ice, all except one person, Alex Hume, who's on the next peg to me. As you can see by that little snip there, he's not got any ice on his peg. He's the only one on the lake that's not got any ice. So we've all had to break the ice. I mean, it was quite thick as well. And it took some breaking. So that disturbance, yeah, I don't know. But it's got to help him. It's been a good peg anyway. And so has this, to be fair. It's been a good peg throughout the league. Now, there was a little bit of free water over towards the island, but I wasn't strong enough to throw my breaker over that far to break the channel to it. So I've broke it as far as I can, which is only like 11 metres. And I've planned to fish 4 lines in this area here. I've started the match on pellets to my left there at 11 metres. I've never had a single indication. But to the right of the hole, I was going to fish maggots, and then I'd plumbed up 2 short lines either side, right up against the ice, to see if I could catch anything there later on. Like I said, I started on the pellets, never had a single indication. Put a piece of bread on the hook over the top of it and never had an indication on that either. So I'm going to drop the maggots on now. Well, first of all, I'm going to drop the plummet on just to double check my plumbing up to make sure it's spot on. I want to make sure it's all right before I go on it. Happy with that. Drop a maggot and a pinky on the hook. Fluoro pinky again. Red maggot and a fluoro pinky. And put the pot on. Just making sure there everything's nice and tidy. Putting the pot on. And I'm just going to drip a few maggots in. Now I'm sitting here thinking this could be a dry net day today. But we're going to try our best to try and catch some fish. Single red maggot through the tip, and then a single fluoro pinky through the tip as well. I'm just going to put a tiny amount of maggots in. A couple of pinkies. There's probably about 5 or 6 particles in that pot. Hardly anything. I've actually managed to break it a little bit further this way, so I can actually push it up to about 12 metres. But I'm not starting at the extreme straight away. I'm going to start a little bit short of that corner. It just gives me somewhere to go if I catch there and the back off a bit. Now we're 45 minutes into the match now, and I get my first bite. And I think I'm the first one on the lake to catch an F1. The chap on peg 12, which you can see in the distance there, he was catching little roach. Interestingly, I never caught a roach all day, and nobody around me did either. I know that Harry Rushton, around the corner from him, reckons that if he'd have stayed fishing half depth all day, he'd have caught roach all day. They must be just balled up around there, because there was definitely none around our end. But I'm quite happy to get a bite, and it's an F1, so that's a nice start. Like I said, we're 45 minutes into the match. and I've saved a dry net. Going into this round, we were 2 points clear of Maver Gold. Obviously, we're in second place with Drenna Northwest winning it. We just need to either beat them or be very close to them to secure our place in the final in February. So that's our plan. Do what you can, catch what you can. Unfortunately, after that initial camera shots early on from the side view camera, it packed up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because of the cold or what, but I got no footage from that camera for the rest of the match. So all the footage is going to be off this camera. Watching it fall through the water. And I'm turning the pot over. Now the rig's already in place. Just tapping them maggots out. I was sat there for a further 30 minutes before I got my next bite. I started pinging a few maggots. I'm only putting 2s and 3s in the pouch, and half of them are landing on the ice anyway. So there's hardly anything going in there. Just saves me shipping back. And you notice I've pushed out half a section further as well now. So I've gone to that corner. Never had any more bites on the 11 metre line, so I've pushed out an extra half a section. Just trying to get a bite basically. Like I said, we're 30 minutes past that first bite and I get my next bite. Just try to get away under the ice. I managed to control him and bring him back. I'm using my X50 pole again like I did on the tunnel match. I'm not going mega distance, and this, like I said, this is a brilliant pole. Hardly gets used, to be fair. I've got it as a backup pole, but when I haven't got to fish it too long, I like to get this one out and use it. Gets a run out every now and then. Another nice F1. Now, I thought Tunnel Barn was cold on the Saturday. This was even colder today. So bitter. I've got another half hour now and I've not had another indication. So I'm having a quick look to see if anything's come out of those pellets. Not a single sign. So back onto the maggots. And we're like another hour now before I get another bite. And this is a decent fish, this one. And I think it's foul hooked. I'm pretty sure it's foul hooked, in fact. The rig came up 5 or 6 inches before I actually connected with the indication. So that tells me the fish was off bottom. Duraslip 9's elastic. I'm using 9's because there is a lot of carp in this pool. They're not moving about much now, and they're not swimming much when you hook them, except for when you foul hook them, obviously. Can't control them as well when you foul hook them. But 9 Duraslip is perfect when you've got a chance of hooking some carp. It gives you a chance anyway. I fish it out 10 on clamps and the size 16 SFLB, so I don't want to pull too hard. He's way under the ice, this fish is now. Just keeping the tip really low to try and steer him round. Managing to strip some elastic back now, so he's on his way back. And he's decided he wants to go the other way. Now all that elastic I've just stripped out, he's just had all back off me. And he's right down the peg the other way now. So he's definitely foul hooked. Practically in the next peg now, to my left. It's not as if I could add sections either, because I've got nowhere to put them. He's coming back now, stripping some elastic back. And this elastic's doing its job, working perfectly. It's going for another run, stripping a bit of elastic back off me. Like a tug of war. I managed to bring a bit of elastic back in. And he's very close to in the netting range now. Well, he's off again. Just taking my time. Want to make sure this fish ends up in the spread bag. Like I said, I'm only fishing an hour 10 hook length, so I can't give him too much pressure anyway. Don't want to risk breaking the line and obviously losing the fish. Alex to my right started catching now as well. He's fishing right next to the ice and he's had 2 or 3 fish himself. And the kid round on peg 10, he's also started catching a few fish. But the lad on peg 12 still catching the odd roach. He's not had an F1 yet. It's nearly ready. Come on, my baby. Here we go. He's in. It's a nice carp of about £7 and he's fair looked in the pectoral fin. I don't care. He's in the spread bag now. As you can see there, I'm fishing 11 metres again. And I'm still pinging the odd maggots there. There's not many going in the water. Most of them are going onto the ice. And the weather's taken a turn for the worse. It's actually started to snow. decided to ping a few maggots to my left as well to see if I can attract anything that way. I'm really cold now. I've been to the van and got my gloves out. Can't remember being this cold all winter. We're absolute nutters. To be honest though, if it hadn't been a league match, I'd have stopped to town. As you can see, the snow's getting heavier. And with you sitting there with your pole in your hand, it's obviously building up on your pole as well. So when you do eventually ship back, you're shipping your fingers through snow as if it isn't cold enough. Glorious weather. Another look to the left where I started pinging maggots. Still no indications that way. And now I'm struggling to get the rig in the water because the water temperature is that low. The snow is actually turning the water to slush. I'm using my pole tip to try and create an hole in it to get the rig through. I'm really struggling to get the rig in here, look. I did it this side of the peg as well. The left hand side, it never did that. It stayed nice and clear. I'm just having a quick look on the short line to see if I can get a bite there. Would help if I could get the rig in there though. We're in. All that, no bites. Not a single indication. I'm having to put my pole cup on now to try and clear the holes out so I can get in. It's getting really slushy, the surfaces. See how long that lasts before it closes up again. Yeah, I went to that side. Look, so there's nothing that side. I haven't got to worry about that side. Pity I can't get a bite that way. So back out to the extremes of the peg. It's the only place I can seem to get an indication. I'm not having many, obviously. I've had 3 fish up to yet. But there is the odd fish coming there, look. It's a very uncomfortable day. Shipping that wet pole back, that cold, snowy, wet pole back, is murder on your hands. Even with the gloves on. It is giving you some benefits having the gloves on, them neoprene gloves. And they are giving me some comfort, but it's still not ideal. And the birds have found the maggots now on top of the ice, which has attracted the attention of the ducks. So at least with them swimming through the water, it'll help break up that slush for me. Proper winter's day. I'm scared to strip too much elastic. I want to keep it as soft as possible because I don't want to pull out of anything. There we go. Fish number 4. The tips of my fingers are that cold. I sat there thinking I wouldn't mind not having another bite. It's a long time between bites. And there's another one. Alex is catching steady on the peg to my right now. He's catching really well. I think he's got about 10, 11 fish now. I mentioned in the last video that hindsight's wonderful. I would have broke further to my left on that match if I'd have realised. Today I think I'd have broke further to my right if I'd have realised. But you never know, do you? I've got to try and clean all this snow off my tackle as well before I put it away. Off my luggage and everything. That's if I can find it under the snow, that is. It's another fair look fish, this one. I'm not fussy. He's in the bag. He'll do. He will ding dang do. Give it a quick clear out before I go out there again. So I can get my rig in. Finally seems like this snow's easing off a bit now. Hopefully I won't have to do this again. Put a sprinkler in the pot. Still feeding a few maggots and a few pinkies. Only a tiny pinch though. 5 or 6 in total. Had a quick look to the left again, still no indications that way. So back out in front of me. Snow's picking up again and I get another bite. And this turns out to be the last fish of the day. I'm just taking my time, making sure that I get him in. For 2 days on the trot now, I've been sitting next to somebody that's had a decent way to fish, and I haven't been able to do anything about it. He had £50 next to me at Tunnel Barn. I know he's 3 pegs away. Alex next door's right next to me on the next peg, and he's had £50 today as well. I can't believe it. Batted both days, and I haven't been able to do a thing about it. But you can only catch what's in front of you. It's another carp, this one is, little carp, and that's your lot. That was the last fish. The next peg to, like I said, we had loads of room on the pole. The next peg to me was that man there, where the arrow is. And as cows came round, Alex had weighed £56. My fish went £21.10. And the only other person to catch on the pole was that chap on peg 10. He's had 40 odd pound, which left me third on the lake. And those two framed, so I ended up having the section by default. I don't care how it comes to me, to be honest. I'll take it. Happy days. Team did brilliant. Nathan's won it on the day, and we were second, ahead of Mava Gold. So that meant that we'd qualified for the final again. And that's absolutely brilliant. So down to the drains and decoy for us. Not a pleasant day at all. There's a view of the results. There was actually a few dry nets, including my mate Matty Barwell, look, DNW off match like 11. And here he is. He come and walk round to me. He's had a dry net, and to top it off, he's got toothache. Bless him. If you enjoyed watching that, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more like this, please subscribe. Cheers.